This guy committed a horrible crime and decided to start a new life after prison, but things went wrong. The title of the movie is Sunflower. Let's go! A young man returns to his hometown and has a lunch at a local cafe. Afterward, he heads to the bathhouse, but for some reason he can't open his locker for a long time. We see that his entire body is covered with tattoos. In the meantime, two policemen witness a street fight but don't interfere as they are going to have a quiet dinner. A gangster named Chang-Moo is reading the ingredients on a bottle of Pepsi and forces a group of men to drink it. Soon the main character shows up there as well. His name is Tae-shik, and we learn that he's recently gotten out of prison. Afterward, Tae-shik meets up with another gangster named Yankee. The guy informs him that he's quitting the criminal business and wants to be by himself. Yankee doesn't like this and orders his sidekicks to follow Tae-shik. The protagonist returns to the same cafe, where he is greeted with great joy by a hostess named Tokcha. The guy calls her either aunt or mom, and the woman cooks Tae-shik dinner. The hostess's daughter, Hee-ju, doesn't like the new guest at all, but she still shows him his room. However, the girl immediately warns Tae-shik that she has a rather bad temper. In the morning, Hee-ju hands the guest the keys to his room. Local politician Cho Pen-soo promises his electorate to build a great market, which makes his audience excited. In fact, Cho Pen-soo hates ordinary people. Actually, he's the crime boss of the city. Tae-shik fills out some paperwork at the police station. The local cop is not happy to see him, because Tae-shik used to beat and humiliate him in the past. He tells Tae-shik to leave town, but the latter promises to behave properly. The protagonist visits the doctor, and the nurses are curious about his tattoos. Tae-shik wants to get rid of them, but the doctor warns that it's a painful and expensive procedure. Tokcha breaks into the office of the politician Cho Pen-soo. This businessman wants to take away the woman's cafe and a field of sunflowers, but Tokcha warns that she won't let the impudent man do it. At home, Tokcha offers Tae-shik a job at her cafe, but he decides to work at a car repair shop. Yankee is immediately informed about it. In the evening, Tae-shik and Hee-ju spend time on the roof of their house. The guy notices that the girl has blood on her lip, but she laughs and refuses to reveal who did it. A couple of cops drive past the auto repair shop and spy on Tae-shik. We find out that 10 years ago, Tae-shik was the crime boss of the entire city, while Chang-Moo and Yankee were his assistants. When Tae-shik got drunk, he turned into a real beast. One day, another local gangster and his gang came to his place, but the protagonist effortlessly defeated all of them. Looks like he was a martial arts master. Yet Tae-shik went too far and sent the leader of the gang to the afterlife. When he was put in jail, Chang-Moo and Yankee began to fight for the title of the city's most powerful gangster. However, the new criminal leader became the above-mentioned politician Cho Pen-soo. But now everyone is sure that Tae-shik will regain his power. The cops question the owner of the car repair shop to find out more about Tae-shik. He admits that this guy is a great worker and doesn't drink alcohol at all. Cho Pen-soo insists on speeding up the land seizure and solving the problem with Tokcha's cafe. Hee-ju is about to fall asleep during a boring math lecture. After class, she notices Tae-shik. It turns out that the guy is about to enter the university. A math teacher appears nearby and looks sadly at the protagonist. During the conversation, the woman admits that she visited him in prison, but he didn't come out to her. Tae-shik apologizes and returns to Hee-ju. The girl mentions that she dreams of a portable media player. They order street food and chat about math. One of Hee-ju's admirers appears on the road and immediately knocks Tae-shik down. The guy gets hit, but instead of fighting back, he just blocks the blow. The admirer shows everyone his heart tattoo and throws several more punches. Then his buddies join the fight. When Tae-shik's shirt gets ripped, everyone notices his tattoos. They immediately stop beating him. Hee-ju brings the guy some healing ointment and asks him not to tell anyone what happened. Cho Pen-soo celebrates his election to the city council. All the major criminals gather for a dinner, including Chang-Moo and Yankee. The councilman announces that he plans to open a nightclub called Oracle and he needs an assistant. Both Chang-Moo and Yankee dream of the position. Then, Cho Pen-soo decides that he will choose the gangster who can capture Tokcha's cafe and land. He's even willing to bring a bulldozer for this purpose. The evening ends with a karaoke song and another quarrel between Cheng-Yu and Yankee. The next day, a group of gangsters with bats come to Tokcha's house. They break into the poor woman's cafe and start destroying the place. Tae-shik notices this and grabs Cheng-Yu by the throat. The terrified troublemakers immediately leave the cafe. Cheng-Yu comes to Yankee and suggests they team up to confront Tae-shik. However, the two men hate each other too much, so they decide to act separately. Cho Pen-soo sees that the cafe hasn't been demolished and becomes furious. The driver explains that everyone is afraid of Tae-shik. The politician immediately orders his assistants to keep an eye on this dangerous guy 24 hours a day. Tae-shik and Hee-ju feed their dogs, and then the guy teaches the girl how to solve integrals. It turns out that he shared a cell with a math teacher. In the evening, Tae-shik brings his stepmother a present. It's a new pair of shoes. The woman is touched and thanks the guy for his kindness. Tae-shik also has a gift for Hee-ju. It's the portable media player she's been dreaming of. As a gesture of gratitude, the girl brings her friend a cup of coffee. Hee-ju is thrilled with her gift. She constantly takes photos and videos. Also, she finds Tae-shik's personal diary, in which he notes down all his plans. At that moment, the protagonist recalls his prison days. Those were extremely tough 10 years. Tae-shik, Tokcha and Hee-ju go on a picnic together. They enjoy ripe watermelons, and the girl plays her favorite song to the guy. At home, they take a photo together as a keepsake. Returning from work, Tae-shik notices a familiar limping gangster. It turns out to be the man that was maimed by the protagonist. The thug admits that he has forgiven Tae-shik and advises him to leave the city with his family. Cheng-Yu and Yankee are informed of the meeting and become very nervous. They are afraid that Tae-shik will get the Oracle nightclub instead of them. The protagonist starts removing his tattoos. Hee-ju observes this process with interest. In the evening, they have dinner and plan to enter the same university. Cheng-Yu comes to Tokcha's house and demands that she leaves the city, but the woman refuses to do so. Then the gangsters make a horrible mess in her cafe once again and push the poor woman to the ground. Hee-ju rushes to her aid and lunges at Cheng-Yu. The very same cops witness the scene, but do nothing. Hee-ju runs to Tae-shik's car repair shop. Together, they clean up the cafe. Cheng-Yu is having fun with his sidekicks. Tae-shik comes to him and demands a meeting with Cho Pen-soo. The protagonist asks the crime boss to leave his family alone, but Cho Pen-soo laughs in response. A group of suspicious guys come to Tae-shik's workplace and provoke him into a fight. He lets them beat him up, but he doesn't throw a single punch himself. After that, the troublemakers beat up the owner of the repair shop. And the cops, as always, just watch from the sidelines. The same Hee-ju's admirer shows up on the cafe doorstep. We find out that the guy Tae-shik sent to the afterlife 10 years ago was Tokcha's son. Hee-ju overhears this conversation and becomes desperate. The woman confesses to her daughter that she managed to forgive Tae-shik, visited him in prison and became attached to him. The girl also forgives the main character. Tokcha comes to Cho Pen-soo once again and shows him her deceased son's diary. It turns out that this tricky politician was also involved in the crime committed 10 years ago. That's when the crime boss decides to get rid of this woman. The protagonist receives a call from the limping gangster, who warns him of the danger. Tae-shik returns home and finds Tokcha drunk. While crossing the road, Hee-ju is hit by the admirer riding a motorcycle. She falls down and loses consciousness. The girl is taken to the hospital and her family is worried about her. Tokcha is ready to sell her cafe and leave the town in the hope that the criminals will leave them alone. Tae-shik comes to see Cho Pen-soo one more time and informs him that they're going to leave the city in 3 days. The politician demands that the protagonist give him his hand. The guy agrees, and the gangster takes a knife. Fortunately, it's only a wound, and the hand can be cured. Tokcha recalls her hard life. She loved the field of sunflowers near her cafe, but now it is taken away from her. At that moment, the woman is attacked. It's Yankee. The poor woman's life is cut short. In the evening, Tae-shik returns home and finds the woman he called his mother. Before long, her cafe is demolished. Tae-shik notices a ring belonging to Yankee. Hee-ju comes to her senses at the hospital and sees Tae-shik. The guy doesn't inform the girl that her mother is gone. He looks at their family picnic photo and then gets drunk for the first time. Cho Pen-soo is preparing for the opening of the Oracle nightclub. The man is very pleased with himself. He appoints Cheng-myu and Yankee as administrators. Suddenly, a drunk Tae-shik shows up there. He asks the limping gangster to leave the building. It's time for revenge. Hee-ju's admirer with a knife in his hand gets knocked out first. Tae-shik sets the nightclub on fire and lounges at all the gangsters one by one like a demon. He is a real martial arts master. Step by step, the protagonist makes his way to the main villains. Yankee hurts him badly, but Tae-shik throws the criminal down the stairs. His main enemy Cho Pen-soo is the only one left, but it doesn't take long before he's sent to the afterlife. A wounded Tae-shik is sitting in a blazing club, recalling the happiest moments of his life. He apologizes with all his heart to his family. Some time passes. Hee-ju attends a math lecture and helps the teacher. She looks at the picture of her family and makes the same list as Tae-shik had. The girl realizes that she loved her stepbrother very much. Give this video a like to cheer us up after such a sad movie. This was the Movie Cat. I'll see you later, friends.